what's going on YouTube? Heretic here. I'm back with a Manectric Yveltal list. I know this has been getting a little more popular as of late. Cities format taking off, shaping up pretty nicely, and of course changing from tournament to tournament depending on where you're living in, where you're playing at. Meta's obviously going to be different. I could say it was definitely different in Indianapolis for the marathon following on the weekend of Thanksgiving versus this past weekend here in Ohio. So things change. But anyway, here's Manectric Yveltal. We're going to start out with a 3-2 Mega Manectric line. Of course, we have Spirit Links, so it makes him easier to play. If you run into Toad, you can always just Mega Evolve in the old-fashioned way. It's a little slower, but he's a pretty heavy hitter. Regular Manectric can do up to 120 damage for 1 lightning and a colorless if they have a Pokemon tool, which Pokemon tools are pretty popular, so it's not too difficult to hit that number. You can always run Flare tools if you want to increase those odds. Mega Manectric, for that same energy cost, does 110 and accelerates 2 basic energy cards out of your discard pile of any type to one of your bench Pokemon, so all sorts of shenanigans you can do with this. Now, I'm just going to give you guys a pretty basic list here. I'm not going to go too techy. Just kind of want to keep this pretty standard. 3-2 Manectric line. And we're going to go with 3 Yveltal EXs. He's your heavy hitter, or your other heavy hitter, I should say. Evil Ball, dark and colorless, 20 plus 20 more for every energy attached to both itself and the opponent's active Pokemon. So he's like giant Mewtwo. He's also weak against Manectric. So your Manectrics, if you play against like a Mirror Match or another Yveltal deck or Lugia, you can just one-shot him. Pretty convenient. I'm going to play non-EX Yveltals. You might think with Mega Manectric we have enough ways to charge things up as well already. You're not always going to be able to draw that the Manectric cards right away. This guy's a really great opener, and he's also a great out against Safeguard, stuff like that, while Mega Manectric will take out Pyroar for you. 1 Darkrai EX, because that free retreat ability is still pretty darn good. Still pretty useful. I like it. The attack, also 90 and the 30 snipe. Having that ability to snipe is really good, especially because the non-Mega Manectric EX first attack does the same thing. It's a 20-20 for 1 colorless. Pretty solid. And then just having a bulkier sniping attack for later in the game, perhaps a game ender. And then, of course, Darkrai's ability, which is always relevant. We play 2 Seismitoads, because they attack for colorless energy to do Trainer Lock, or Item Lock. Very good, especially early game, and definitely playable in this deck with Manectric to drop 2 energies from the discard onto it, or just a double colorless energy out of your hand or off a Y-Cyclone from an Yveltal. Just a lot of ways to make use of Seismitoad in this deck. And then our last Pokemon is Jirachi, because I am not ready to give up on this card yet. I find that when I don't play it, I find myself wishing that I did play it pretty much every time. So, in just about any deck for me, this card is a go. Spectacular way to search out supporters. It doesn't just get you a supporter, it gets you the supporter that you need at any given moment when you play it. Supporters, speaking of them, 4 Sycamore, 4 N, and 2 Colress. This has pretty much become standard for me in most decks. The 10 draw supporters, I do not want to go below that. I know my Lugia list with the 4 Skylas will argue that point, but right now I do not want to go below 10 draw supporters, and I don't like going over 2 Colress because I don't like opening him. So I chose the extra N instead of Shauna. Just seems like it has more utility overall. And then we play 2 Skylas to search mainly for those long Jirachi chains, computer search for double colorless, and also to search Spirit Links out. And then we play a pair of Lysanders as well. That's our supporters. Stadiums, 2 Shadow Circles. So your Yveltals don't get blown up by your opponent's Mega Manectrics or whatever else lightning they might play. Or so your Manectrics don't get blown up by Donphan, or your Seismitoads don't get blown up by Genesect. Works kind of nice like that. Items. 3 Ultra Ball. And to search stuff out. 3 Versus Seekers. And something that makes that really good is Battle Compressor. Not only discards energy for Baby Yveltal and Mega Manectric to recharge from the discard pile, but you can also ditch a supporter and then just instant retrieve it with Versus Seeker. And I feel like also in the given format, along with the 10 draw supporters and the 1 Jirachi, at least 2 Versus Seekers absolutely necessary. I opted for the 3rd in this list because we had the space for it, and again, we're going without techs here. You could always cut one for like a max potion or something if you wanted to get techy, or if you like a 2nd compressor or something like that. There's really a lot of options here. 1 switch in case we don't get our Darkrai, or if we're like sleep poisoned by a Hypnotoxic, because that still can happen. Professor's Letter to search basic energy out of the deck. You play more than 1 type, you're guaranteed to play this card. Most decks, even with only 1 type of basic energy, will still play it. Computer searches are a spec of choice. Help set up. And then we have 3 Spirit Links and 3 Muscle Bands. Another card you could tech in here is Tool Retriever. You can pull some kind of nifty shenanigans with that. Getting rid of Flare Tools, of course. And then also being able to pull a Spirit Link off of a Mega Manectric after you Mega Evolve it and putting it on another Manectric, and then just basically reusing the 1 Spirit Link to Mega Evolve a 2nd time. Nifty little things you can do. That's our item cards. And then energy, 4 double colorless. Seismitoad can benefit directly from the use of double colorless, as can Yveltal. You could also try running Mewtwo. Then we play 6 Dark Energies. Charge up Yveltals and Darkrai and all that stuff and allow free retreat and no weakness when Shadow Circle's on the board. And then 4 Lightning for Manectric. And of course, it might not seem like much, but again, Mega Manectric just recharges out of the discard pile, so you just reuse your energy. That is the entire deck for now. Again, I'm just going with a kind of a basic core essentials kind of list here of Yveltal and Mega Manectric EX. And that is all I've got for you guys right now. I hope to see you guys all soon, and best of luck to everyone playing in cities this weekend. Cheers!